Welcome back to the AI-generated podcast show. I'm your host, Steve, and today we're diving into one of the most critical yet challenging roles emerging in modern enterprises, the Chief AI Officer. I'm joined by Michael, a strategic AI leader who's witnessed firsthand both the promise and pitfalls of this position. Michael, thanks for being here. Now, let's start with the fundamentals. When you look at organizations today, what makes the Chief AI Officer role so essential that companies are willing to create entirely new C-suite positions for it?
Thanks for having me, Steve. The Chief AI Officer role has become essential for several reasons. First and foremost, AI is no longer just a tech initiative. It's a core driver of business strategy. Companies are realizing that to harness the full potential of AI, they need someone at the executive level who can bridge the gap between technology and business outcomes. This role is crucial because it ensures that AI initiatives align with the overall business strategy, focusing on delivering tangible value rather than just implementing technology for its own sake. The Chief AI Officer can guide organizations through the complexities of AI adoption, from understanding the ethical implications to managing change within the workforce. Moreover, as AI continues to evolve, having a dedicated leader helps organizations stay competitive. They can identify opportunities for innovation, streamline processes, and ultimately drive profitability. In a rapidly changing landscape, companies that don't embrace AI risk falling behind. And that's where the Chief AI Officer comes in as a pivotal figure in steering the organization towards success. I'm excited to explore this topic further. What's next on your mind?
That's a brilliant point, Michael. You've highlighted how AI has evolved from a technical curiosity to a strategic imperative. The bridge between technology and business outcomes is absolutely critical. But here's what intrigues me. If this role is so vital and companies are investing heavily in these positions, why do you believe most CAIOs are actually doomed to fail? What are the fundamental challenges that seem to trip up even the most qualified leaders in this space?
That's a fantastic question, Stephen. Honestly, it's one I'm deeply passionate about. The reality is, despite all the hype and investment, many Chief AI Officers walk into a perfect storm of challenges that can quickly derail even the most promising AI ambitions. One of the biggest pitfalls is the misconception that AI is just another IT project. Too often, organizations expect quick wins or treat AI as a magic wand, rather than a transformative journey that requires patience, experimentation, and, most importantly, cultural change. The CAIO can have all the technical expertise in the world, but if the rest of the leadership team isn't aligned, or if the business units don't buy in, those AI projects will stall or fail to scale. Another challenge is the lack of clarity around what success actually looks like. If a CAIO is measured purely on the number of models deployed or the latest shiny technology, rather than on real business outcomes, like increased revenue, cost savings, or improved customer experience, they're set up for disappointment. AI needs to be tied directly to business value. Otherwise, it risks becoming an expensive science experiment. And let's not forget the human side. Change management is absolutely critical. People naturally resist change, especially when it's as disruptive as AI. If the CAIO doesn't bring the organization along for the ride, educating, upskilling, and inspiring people, then even the best technology will gather dust. I always say AI transformation is 80% about people and only 20% about algorithms. So, in short, the CAIO role is vital, but it's also incredibly challenging because it sits at the intersection of technology, business, and culture. Without a clear mandate, executive support, and a relentless focus on business outcomes and people, even the most talented CAIOs can find themselves fighting an uphill battle. What's your take, Steve? Or is there a particular challenge you'd like to dig into next?
Michael, you've painted such a vivid picture of this perfect storm. The misaligned expectations, unclear success metrics, and that crucial human element. That 80-20 split between people and algorithms really resonates. Let me dig deeper into something you touched on: executive support and mandate clarity. In your experience, what does proper executive backing actually look like for a CAIO? Because I imagine many leaders think they're being supportive, but are they really setting their Chief AI Officer up for success?
Proper executive backing means more than just verbal encouragement. It demands a tangible and unwavering commitment. This includes actively championing AI initiatives, allocating sufficient resources, budget, talent, infrastructure, and empowering the CAIO to drive change across the organization. It's about breaking down silos and fostering collaboration. Furthermore, true support involves aligning incentives, holding other executives accountable for AI adoption and its impact within their domains. It also means cultivating a culture of experimentation and learning, where failure is seen as a growth opportunity. Ultimately, it's about creating an environment where the CAIO can thrive and AI can deliver its full potential, recognizing it as a strategic imperative requiring a holistic, coordinated effort. Without this commitment, even the best CAIO will struggle.
Exactly, Michael. That distinction between lip service and genuine commitment is crucial. You mentioned creating a culture of experimentation where failure becomes a learning opportunity, which leads me to wonder about the practical side. When a CAIO is trying to build this experimental mindset while also proving ROI to skeptical stakeholders, how do they balance taking necessary risks with demonstrating concrete value? What's the sweet spot between innovation and accountability that successful CAIOs seem to find?
That's a great question, Steve, and it really gets to the heart of the CAIO's challenge. The sweet spot is about running small, focused experiments that are tightly linked to business priorities. Instead of betting big on unproven ideas, successful CAIOs start with pilot projects that solve real pain points and can show measurable impact quickly. Think weeks or a few months, not years. By delivering quick wins, they build trust and buy-in, which then gives them the runway to take on bolder, more innovative projects. At the same time, they set clear metrics for success and are transparent about both the risks and the learnings from failures. This approach creates a culture where experimentation is encouraged, but always with an eye on business value and accountability. It's about proving value early and often, while steadily raising the bar for innovation.
That's such a smart approach, Michael. Those quick wins creating the runway for bigger bets. It reminds me of building political capital through early successes. But here's my final question, and it's one I think our listeners really need to hear. For someone who's either considering becoming a CAIO or currently in the role and struggling, what's the one piece of advice that could make the difference between joining the ranks of failed CAIOs versus becoming one of the success stories?
If I could give just one piece of advice, it would be this: relentlessly focus on business outcomes and build strong relationships across the organization. Don't get lost in the technical details or the latest AI trends. Instead, deeply understand the business challenges, identify where AI can make a real difference, and then work collaboratively with business leaders to deliver measurable results. AI is a team sport, and your ability to build trust, communicate effectively, and drive change will be far more important than your technical skills. Be a business leader first and an AI expert second. That's the key to long-term success.
Michael, that's incredibly powerful advice. Be a business leader first and an AI expert second. I think that perfectly encapsulates everything we've discussed today about bridging that gap between technology and real business value. Thank you for sharing these insights with us. To our listeners, remember that the Chief AI Officer role represents both tremendous opportunity and significant challenge. Success isn't just about understanding AI. It's about understanding people, business, and how to bring them all together. That's a wrap on today's episode of the AI-generated podcast show. I'm Steve, and we'll see you next time.